Thank you, Penny. Good afternoon, everybody. So I'm very proud to be standing here with the outstanding lineup of Labour Māori seat MPs. We have in the Labour Party right now one of the strongest representations of the Māori voice of any political party. And this election, I want that voice to be strengthened and to grow. The announcement I'm making today is that at the request of our Māori seat MPs, the Labour Party has agreed to exempt them from being on the list for this year's general election. When the party comes to put together its list at the end of April, as it is required to do, we will not be including the Māori MPs who you see before you. There is a real challenge now that the Labour Party is laying down, which is about the voice for Māori people and Māori interests in New Zealand. You see, when you look what's happened under this government for the last 9 years, and what it has done, and actually more importantly not done, with its coalition partner, the Māori Party, we now see the lowest level of Māori home ownership. We still see real challenges and problems in educational performance for Māori. When you look at homelessness, for example, who is overrepresented in homelessness statistics? It's Māori. The voice that the Māori Party says that it has brought to the table for the last 9 years is not achieving greater benefits and more positive change for Māori. That's a fact. And that is going to be a big issue in this year's general election, especially in the Māori seats. I am backing, and the Labour Party is backing our Māori MPs 100% to win their Māori seats. And through the rest of the selection processes that we have, we will be seeking to grow our Māori voice in the Labour Party with Tamati Coffey in Wairiki, with Kitty Allen in East Coast, with Paul Eagle in Rongotai, and no doubt in other places as well. The Labour Party will offer Māori the strongest organised political voice of any political party in New Zealand. And it will be, I would be very proud, I have the privilege of forming a government after the 23rd of September to be leading a caucus that has that voice, with our Māori MPs with a permanent seat at the table and integral to our party, its policy making and its decision making. I'll now hand over to Kelvin and I wish to say a few words.
Thank you, Andrew, and all I can say is the Māori caucus of the Labour Party are totally behind this decision. It's a sign of strength, it's a sign of unity, and it's a sign of confidence that we're going to win our seats. But also, Andrew Little has said to us in the next government that he leads, he expects to see more Māori MPs for the Labour Party. And with a shadow cabinet already of 5 Māori MPs, we're prepared and we're ready to govern and do the job that we have to do for Māori. As Andrew has said, Māori haven't seen the love from in terms of housing, education, health. And with the strength of the Māori caucus and the new Māori MPs that will come in, we are going to do the business, and Māori are going to be the recipients of some excellent decision making, excellent policy. We're really looking forward to contesting this election come the 23rd of September.
Kia ora koutou katoa. First of all, we would like to thank the many voters who have placed their trust and faith in each and every one of us as Māori electorate MPs and the party we represent. Today's decision wasn't an easy one, to the extent that this next election is a personal one for every Māori voter in every household who wants to see a different New Zealand. A New Zealand that won't tolerate people sleeping in cars, a New Zealand that believes that educational opportunity isn't what you can pay for, but it is your right to have access to good, decent education. A New Zealand where we aren't spending 4 or 5 hours waiting in the hospital to be seen, that we have a health system that responds when we need it most. So that's the New Zealand that the Labour Māori caucus want to help build. And we want to do it with Labour at the heart of the issues that we will take to the election, because we know it's about the issues. It's not about personality politics, but we believe that the decision to come off the list is a decision to ensure that when people make their personal choice, when they put their faith in their representatives in the Māori electorates, that there will be people who will listen. People who will take that challenge right through the election and onto the government benches. That's why we've made the decision today. It's a unified look. We are bringing in the opportunity for Labour to expand the Māori team. We're also bringing out the messages that Labour will take to the election that will give everybody a better opportunity, not just a few.
Right, happy to take any questions.
Mr. Little, if you want more Māori representation and want to ensure it, then surely having your Maori MPs on the list will help that. It will give you a backstop.
Yeah, I think it's bigger than that and it's wider than that. There is a real fight on now over the strength of Māori representation and voice at the government level, because after 9 years of a national party, Māori party coalition, that whatever voice the Māori party thinks they brought, it hasn't created a great deal for Māori. So this is about saying, our Māori MPs saying, we are here, we will be the voice, we are absolutely integral to what the Labour Party is, how it operates, the decisions it makes, and we want your support for the voice we bring as MPs, and that's what they're campaigning on. They're campaigning for the party vote. So right across New Zealand, Labour has a 2 ticks campaign, but in the Māori seats there's something very special going on, and Labour's Māori MPs are standing and saying, vote for us, vote for our voice. We've got a track record, and it's better than anything that any other party can offer.
Well, that's a big challenge to Māori Mana Party, right, though, because you're saying to voters, you can either have Labour Māori MPs or you can have Māori Mana. You can't have us both.
That's correct.
Isn't that?
Absolutely it is.
Isn't that decreasing?
The message is very simple. The message is very simple to Māori voters. We are eliminating the 2-for-1 message, because in order to get us into government, you need to be able to vote for our party as well. And it's simply not true if those parties think that they're going to get a 2-for-1 exercise out in the Māori electorates. It's not true.
Isn't that decreasing Māori representation? If you had Māori Mana MPs, you had Labour MPs, because you'll have more listeners.
There's 7 Māori seats, and we want to win all 7 of those, plus we expect to see more Māori MPs coming off the list.
If you're expecting to boost the number of Māori in the caucus with this, where are you going to put people like Willie Jackson and Willie Jackson on the list to ensure that you get greater representation?
Well, we will, and that's the job that happens at the end of April when the party puts its list together. We are determined to increase our Māori representation, and in the Māori seats, our Māori MPs will be standing on their track record, but they will be campaigning on their voice, and Labour's voice for Māori being stronger than any other party.
But that's always the question. You have to put them high on the list. So how high up are they going to go to ensure that you get more Māori representation?
Look, Labour is focused on the challenge of increasing diversity, and what we're showing is that there is every opportunity to bring diversity of Māori representation, of Pacific, of ethnic, of professional representation on the list. We're not diverting the answer. The answer is simply this. If people want to see a strengthened Māori caucus, then we're eliminating the 2-for-1 message and saying we're not going on the list, we are bringing people through. There is not a 2-for-1 opportunity here. If you want us in the Labour Party in the government benches, here's the opportunity.
So as a result of you staying off the list, we can expect to see Willie Jackson very high up the list then?
There's a process that the party has to go through, and we can't preempt that.
Andrew Little, will you instruct the party to put Māori high up the list?
I don't have the right to instruct the party to do anything. I am backing all our candidates for the list and those who will be relying on the list to get a winnable spot. I said that about Willie Jackson, and we want to get others too. We've got very competitive candidates, though, for example, on the East Coast and in the Rongotai and at Wairiki. So, you know, the full weight and force of the party will be behind those candidates. This is about strengthening Māori voice and Labour, and Labour has the privilege of forming a government after the 23rd of September, a stronger Māori voice in government, a real Māori voice in government, not a part-time, shackled on, little cobbled together sort of voice that we've had for the last 9 years.
What about someone, just following up on Joe's question, like Willow Jean Prime, who is young Māori woman? How high up will she have a winnable place on the list? Because she's not going to Northland.
So we're backing, there's a range of candidates, and forgive me for omitting Willow Jean's name before, there's a lot of candidates around. But we will have a significant number of winnable places on the list. And we'll be backing a range of people to get there, and all those names are up for contention. I don't get to decide the list. I work with the party, it's New Zealand Council, and those who come in specifically for that list setting process. But I am confident that when you see a full slate of candidates, you will see a very strong Māori voice in Labour's slate for the general election.
Will there be some sort of Māori quota on the list?
Look, we're really confident that Labour's spoilt for choice when it comes to the breadth of Māori candidates that have put up their hand. That's a great thing, we believe. It's also a great thing to see that Labour, in building the new cohort of candidates for the list, that will reflect the diversity of New Zealand. We support that. But look, we're spoilt for choice when it comes to Māori candidates that are putting their hand up.
Calvin, why now? It looks like a reaction to the momentum that the Māori parties had, because there hasn't been something Labour's looked at before.
What momentum are you talking about?
Or the Kinitanga joining with Mana Party getting
the momentum's in their minds, but we're not seeing it.
Is this a reaction to what the Kinitanga has said?
No, we've been discussing this as a Māori caucus for quite some time now, so anything that the other parties have done, it's just coincidental. We're here making decisions on what we think is the best for the Labour Party, the best for Māori, the best for the country in general when we become government after 23rd of September.
Did the Maori caucus...
Are you worried about your seat? Are you concerned at all?
Oh, absolutely, there is a challenge in my seat, but the challenge is this: to get those people who sat at home and didn't think their vote mattered to vote. And what we're saying as a team, if you want the policies that are going to make a difference in everyday people's lives, the great majority of people who I represent, then you have to get out and vote. And it's simply that. Take away the 2-for-1 element, and it's a straight contest of debating the issues that matter.
Did the Maori...
To clarify, some of the list spots that are being freed up by this announcement could be filled by non-Māori.
Well, as I said before, I'm determined to see, new Maori MPs coming in after the 23rd of September. And that'll be reflected in the list that comes out after the end of April.
Did the Maori caucus initiate this conversation themselves?
Yes.
And when did it start?
Yeah, a month or so ago.
It's been going for a while, and we've had good discussions. In the end, it was the Maori caucus put the case to the New Zealand Council subcommittee that looks at list exemptions.
Nanai, do you think you're facing the biggest challenge in your seat that you've faced for a long time?
Look, the biggest challenge actually is to New Zealanders who aren't voting. And at the end of the day, if what we're seeing in our electorate offices is anything to go by, people have just had a gutsful. 9 years in opposition, they don't want to see us in opposition. So we're saying, okay, now's the time. To every Māori voter, now is the time. Every Māori household, get everybody out and voting, and if you want us, you've placed your trust in us. If you want us, you've got to vote for the party as well and get us into government so we can make the changes that will make the best difference for everybody.
How long is it going to be to win Wairiki from Te Reo level? He's always done very well in that seat. You've got Tamati up against him. Is that going to be the biggest challenge you think?
Every electorate is a fight. We don't take anything for granted, and we back ourselves and we throw everything at it, and we back great candidates, and we've got a great candidate, Tamati Coffee.
But do you think Wairiki is the biggest challenge of the Māori seat?
I don't reduce the size of the challenge in any of our Māori seats, and indeed in any of our seats, full stop. We have a big fight on our hands right across the nation, and we're up for it, and we've got talented MPs, we've got talented candidates, and we're into the fight. It is a big fight, and it's important for New Zealand. And what happens in the Māori seats, what happens for Māori, is as big a fight as anything else.
Will you seek any accommodations with the Greens in terms of their standing electorate candidates in the Māori electorates?
No, we've been pretty clear that what each party does with its electorate candidates, each will decide. and they've made some decisions, and you look at Ahari, for example, they're not standing a candidate. And pretty much every other electorate, including Māori electorates, they are standing candidates. That's their decision, their determination, and we've agreed that that's the way it's going to proceed.
Have you talked to them about this in particular?
The Green Party?
Yep.
No, this is a decision by our Maori MPs, our Maori caucus, and the New Zealand Council.
But like Ahariu, have you asked them whether they would look at an Ahariu style agreement for this issue?
Well, we haven't asked them about Ahariu, that was their decision. We haven't asked them for anywhere else, so what they do is their decision.
Isn't this a sign of how worried you are about Mana Māori that you're going to these leagues?
It's the opposite. It's the opposite, actually. It's actually our Māori MPs have made their decision, their judgment. I'm backing them on it, backing them 100%, because there is a huge issue there about voice for Māori and decisions that actually mean we seriously start to lift Māori where they are overrepresented in all the wrong statistics. We've got to change that, and that means a strong, cohesive, coherent, united voice within a party-leading government, and that's what the Labour Māori caucus has the opportunity.
Well, surely
from what we hear though, they're struggling to get candidates in Te Taitonga and Tamaki Makaurau. If they were absolutely serious about all the seats, they would have announced all their candidates very early, much earlier than they have.
Calvin Hone is very confident he can win back Te Taitonga. What do you say to that?
Kim.com. People haven't forgotten that up there. And, he's got a lot to make up. I'm confident that I'll turn him over. I'll stand my record in the last 2.5 years against anything from the previous 9 years. So, bring it on.
Do you think he faces the challenge of working with the Māori Party and working with the National?
Well, he doesn't want to work with Labour. He can't work with National. He's already shattered the Māori Party. What's he going to do for Māoridom other than, well, what?
Andrew, can I just go back on a previous question? Are all the, like I asked for, I just wanted to clear up whether the list spots being vacated by this announcement will all be filled by Māori candidates, because if not, and some of your electorate MPs lose, then there's a very good chance that Labour would have less Māori representation than it does now.
No, we have, in the end, the party council will put together its list. They know, we all have an ambition to increase our Māori representation, our Māori voice. That's why we have candidates like Willow Jean Prime in Northland, like Kirutapa Allen in East Coast, like Paul Eagle in Orongotai. So we are aiming to grow our Māori representation, and we're going to strengthen the voice of Māori coming out of the Māori seats with the MPs we've got who are going to campaign to be the voice, because I tell you, when it comes to the Māori Party's track record being shackled to the national government, it isn't a very pretty one. And I back Labour Māori MPs any day to be forceful, determined, sensible, thoughtful and ambitious for Māori, and that's what we want.
Well, if you want to grow Māori representation.
Māori representation, but you can't answer any of the questions about what the party's going to do about the list. So, is that a question for the President? Can he say, well, yes, we are going to put Māori in those places, like James has said? Because otherwise the whole point of this policy is redundant if you can't actually get Māori into those list spots high up and ensure that they get in.
We will have a list that will be adding to our voices, adding to our numbers, adding our strength, and will include Māori voices on the list, new Māori MPs on the list that goes out. So yes, we will be. That is the strategy, that is the plan.
Andrew said to me, Andrew said to me when we had a discussion a couple of weeks ago, he says, Calvin, I expect to see more Māori MPs in the Labour caucus post-election, but there is a process that has to be gone through, and that process will bring, and we can't preempt it here, but Andrew wants more Māori MPs coming through on the list. So, that's the answer, no one's avoided it.
Well, surely the best way of ensuring that is to make sure all these people here are on the list in case they lose their election seats.
No, it's to make sure they win their seats, and they're going to win their seats.
Yeah, but you've got a hedge if they're on the list. And so you know that these people would all be in Parliament, right? Unless the vote tanks.
They're going to fight to win their seats, because the fight is between, the voice for Māori, and Nanai talked about it. There's no 2-for-1 option here in the Māori seats. If Māori want Māori on the Māori roll and the Māori seats want the strongest Māori voice, it is the Labour voice. and they give their vote to us for that, and they give their party vote to get other Māori MPs on the list.
It's flipped the whole 2-for-1 argument on its head, because that's what the other people were saying. Vote for the other person as a candidate, and us will get it on the list. Well, we've flipped it. We're saying, get us as the candidate and you'll get more Māori in on the Labour Party list. We'll probably have the strongest, like I'm not sure how far back in history we can go, but I'm sure there wouldn't be a party with more Māori MPs than what we'll have post-election.
How do you think Māori feel about you essentially declaring war on Māori and Mana parties and trying to divide them like this? That's what you're saying. You're saying you want to get rid of the Māori party.
I think we're actually talking about our strengths. We're not worrying about the other parties. Their fight is their fight. We're talking about our strengths and our confidence and our unity as a Māori caucus.
But we will not be pulled into gutter personality politics. We're drawing the line and saying the issues that matter most for the people who want to see a change in government are the things that we're taking to the election around homes, around education, around health and around jobs. And those are the things every day on a day-to-day basis at a community level people are worried about. 9 years in opposition and we haven't had the chance to do anything. So we're saying if there was ever a time to make a clear decision, don't hedge your bets, now's the time.
But what you're saying is you want to see the end of the Māori party.
Absolutely want to see a change to this country, absolutely.
But if you won all the seats, you destroy the Māori party.
We want to see the strongest voice for Māori. And because Māori have not had a strong voice in government for the last 9 years, that's the truth.
Calvin, do you acknowledge that by doing this, well, if you don't win some of your electorates, you'll have less Māori in the Labour Party?
Well, we've got the list and we'll have more people coming through, more Māori candidates coming through.
But guaranteeing that they will be filled by Māori. So by not having that backstop...
You're asking us not to back ourselves. That's not the case. We're backing ourselves.
We're backing ourselves in the first instance. We all expect to win.
We're backing ourselves.
We're not even contemplating that either.
Andrew, how many new Labour candidates will be on the list in winnable positions?
Well, you'll see when we do our list what that looks like, but there'll be a lot more winnable spots on the list, and there will be new Māori MPs, at least new Māori names in those winnable slots.
Yeah, how many?
I can't give you the figure.
I think he's covered that extensively. We can't preempt the list process. It depends on the party vote. So.
But this also frees up some of the pressure on you, right, on some of the MPs, like Julie Mallard, who want gone list only. By having some of your Māori MPs off the list, it gives more room for others.
No, the strategy is to have a list with a combination of sitting MPs and some new talent coming through. Some of that new talent will be new Māori talent, and some of it will be new talent from other parts of the community as well. You will see when we have our list that we have a level of diversity and representation that is as reflective and representative of New Zealand as we can make it. And we will have six outstanding Labour Māori MPs campaigning strongly in 6 Māori seats, and I'm backing them 100%, and they back themselves 100%, and this is about giving Māori a chance to have a strong voice in a future Labour-led government.
There was some comments on the weekend on Marae where Jackson was on the program, and he was talking about what happened with the Kingitanga and the IC, and talked about people in the electorate not actually, particularly in South Auckland area, not actually knowing who the king was and not really caring who he was. Do you agree with that statement?
Well, let me answer that, because that is an issue that directly affects my seat. And at the end of the day, in the electorate, there are a diverse range of interests, some Kingitanga aligned, some more generally aligned, and we've got to cater to everybody, and that is the case across all the Māori electorates. That's the reality. So when people make their personal choice, they will make it on the bread and butter issues. We're absolutely confident about that because they've been hooting over the last 9 years.
That is quite a bold comment though. I mean, Corey Jackson is now a colleague of yours. You're very invested in Kingitanga. I mean, that must be almost slightly offensive for him.
Well, it shows the diversity of Māori opinion in politics.
Comment?
All right, thank you.